Today on CityCast Nashville, with all its shiny new restaurants and skyscrapers, we're asking the question, is the Gulch actually a neighborhood? DJ and producer Merchant says it's more than the Wings mural and rooftop bars. He joins us to defend the Gulch, share his perfect day in the neighborhood, and explain why this surprisingly chill corner of Nashville has become a welcoming home for him. It's Wednesday, May 20th. I'm Marie Cecile Anderson, and this is what Nashville's talking about. This is a hot take, but is the Gulch actually a neighborhood? It just seems so shiny.
I think
and new.
What makes a neighborhood is, I think, the people and also the vibe. I travel a lot for work, right? As a musician and performing all over the States and the world. So while I feel like the Gulch is that kind of brand new shiny object in town, it has a sense of tranquil to it, especially on the weekdays. Like even now, I was just walking, across the street to our local neighborhood Whole Foods.
Ah, yes.
Yes, a longstanding institution. And it's relatively tranquil, especially on the weekdays. And I think there's a sense of, in the newness of it and sort of it feeling like a neighborhood that sometimes people feel is like just supplanted into town. There's a sense of calm because it's for living. The Gulch is for living, right? You just kind of, you live here, you walk around. There are a lot of the new restaurants and places like that. But for me, it's where I call home, so.
And do you drive much in your neighborhood?
That's another good thing is I actually don't drive currently. I had a car, but because I travel so much, really the only places I would drive to is I'm visiting friends in other neighborhoods or to the airport. It's a good point about the Gulch is we have kind of everything around here. I'm a pretty simple man when it comes to my, like eating stuff. And I'm pretty much in a routine as much as a DJ can be. So I really just walk to most of the places.
You went to Vanderbilt and then
I
you
did.
left and then you came back.
Yes.
How had the Gulch changed?
Well, when I was at Vanderbilt many eons ago, back in my day, the Gulch was, it's still new, but relatively new, where we had pretty much M Street. I think the Thompson hadn't even been built yet. I think it was a parking lot, if I can remember right, and then the train yard. So it's changed a lot.
The M Street restaurants?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean by that?
So there's a collection of restaurants. So there's the Cane Prime, there is Moto, Virago, San Anejo's great too. So those were some of the first on McGavick Street, right? So right across from Adele's.
Is Virago still a thing?
You know what? I am going to say I'm a Virago fan. Again, being a DJ, I'm in a lot of environments, right? And part of before you go to a show, often promoters will take you to dinner or do stuff like that. So you go to a lot of places with cool ambiance. And I think the low light in Virago and the sushi's always been pretty good there and the food. So I'm an ambiance guy, I must admit, right? So I really do like Virago. Where they have the Canopy Hotel now, that kind of winding road. If you asked me 3 years ago what would be there, I could not picture so many buildings going around there. And I'm like, oh, wow, there's a lot going on here. So I think, again, like the Gulch is, it's not full, as you say, tourist mode where, you have downtown and Broadway, which populated by tourists. There's locals as well, a lot of local institutions. But the Gulch, I think it has a mix of people who obviously live in town, but then now with the hotels, kind of visitors. So it's a balance of people.
All right. So now let's dive deeper. I want to hear your perfect day in the Gulch. You wake up. Where do you go first?
I wake up pretty early in the morning. And
how early? What are we talking about?
On an average day, probably 6:30.
Ooh,
yeah.
Okay.
I like to wake up early just because it's quiet. It's another thing about the Gulch. It's pretty quiet in the mornings. It's a chain now, Ian Rose and E Rose. So sometimes they have these little protein bites, right? Which, I've been working out. You can't really see my full figure here, but I've been working out. So I get a little protein bite. I go there and then I'll take a little loop around where you have Uncommon James and stuff around like Peg Leg Porker. That's been there for a long time. That's an institution in Nashville. So I'll take a little walk in the mornings, and then they have the barista parlor now that's in the W Hotel. So that's a popular spot for people to work at.
Is that a great place for people watching as well?
You know what? Yeah, you see a lot. You see tourists coming down from the night before, they've had a time, had some locals pop in. I talk to all the people who work at Barista Parlor a lot. They're very friendly, great people. So I'll go there sometimes. And then I walk past the station inn. It's not open in the morning at 6
That's
a.m.
right.
But yeah, that's a local one. There you go. Freeze frame that. But yeah, there's a lot happening here that's cool. But again, I would call it livable, right? Like, I think every neighborhood in Nashville has its character and it's developing.
I was going to ask if you could use one word to describe the Gulch. What would it be?
Chill.
Chill.
I'm telling you, it honestly is. I know the wings are, it's probably going to come up as a hot topic of discussion while I think about those. But, aside from very sunny days and, when there's a lot of people lined up, it really is just people, people commuting through a lot of the Greenway, that people walk the Gulch Greenway. So I think it's a relatively calm, like chill neighborhood.
Well, be honest. What do you think of the Wings mural?
You know what? Let's get into it. That's been there for a long time. I believe when I was at Vandy, it was still there. So I've graduated now. I'm 30. So it's been a few years. There's a few murals around town. And I think what that did was it sort of spurred, look, social media's double-edged sword. But I feel like it's kind of one of those like staples. I believe in Nashville, you have the wings. There's different things that people want to do and see. So going back to local businesses, you have Vui's Juice Cafe. So she's right by the mural. So I'm sure that helps to bring people and, awareness to local business around the area. So to me, it's like, hey, long line, is it funny to see sometimes? Like there's a 3-hour wait for,
For the wings?
This mural for the wings, But I think what it does for the most part, it's good. I haven't seen any fights. I've seen a lot of selfies, not many fights outside the wings. So as long as people are safe, what can I say?
Let's focus then on local small businesses. You said you go to the gym. Where do you go?
The lovely folks at Shed Fitness, which is where the WME building is now. They have been there for a while, and that they're locally owned. Jordan Catalana and her team, they're incredible. Group classes there, and it's a workout. It'll shed you, all right. But they're fantastic.
My friend's wife made him go with her to Shed, and he threw up.
You feel you worked out. You leave Shed, you have worked out. I'll tell you that. So that's a local business we love, and actually a cornerstone of music for me, and that's a local business, is the folks at Night We Met. So so Night We Met, for those who don't know, is where most people should know. It's Nashville's really only dance and house music focused venue and club. They've been so supportive to me from the start of my career, especially, as merchant and coming back to Nashville after some time home in Jamaica.
And that's located where 12th and Porter used to be.
Short walk from the lovely neighborhood of Whole Foods. I'm gunning for some Whole Foods sponsorship. I don't know. Maybe.
Let's go. Let's get that for you for sure.
Come on, right? The whole team, CityCast and Merchant. But yeah, no, Night We Met is definitely, I think they've done such a good job of championing local acts too, because they've done what I think is very hard in a city, is they've not just brought in talent, right? Where they're a venue, they open, they bring in talent. They've really built a community around dance music, and their regulars, and the staff's all local, and, the owners, Austin, Alison, Jim, Brendan, they're really about developing Nashville, right? Like they were bringing in acts, global acts, to a point where now it's a stop. In a lot of dance music DJ careers now, Nashville has become a stop because there was no real club venue, right? There were places like, you have the Sky Deck and other venues, but for acts of kind of all sizes, especially emerging acts, they're really good at picking out talent and developing local talent too.
America's 250th anniversary is this year, and if you're looking for a meaningful way to experience the celebration right here in Tennessee, well, you have got to check out the Path of Glory at Andrew Jackson's Hermitage. Our flag is an iconic symbol of everything this country stands for. And right now, you can visit the Hermitage to stand amongst 1,776 full-sized American flags flying proud. 1776, baby. They'll host a dedication ceremony on May 22nd, and here's the extra powerful part. You can sponsor a flag in your name or in honor of a loved one. And when the event ends in mid-July, a flag will be sent straight to whoever you dedicated it to with a certificate of authenticity. 250 years ago, our founding fathers believed this country should be a place where everyone can enjoy life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That American ideal is still worth fighting for, and spending a day amongst the Path of Glory flags is a great way to think about our past, present, and hopes for our country's future. So go ahead, plan your visit, and sponsor a flag today at thehermitage.com. Hey Nashville, if you've ever put off a home project because it just felt like too much, I get it. The research, the scheduling, the disruption, it's a lot. But replacing your windows? Window Nation actually makes it really easy. Their crews have years of experience. They measure everything multiple times so it fits right the first time. And they can usually install your new windows in 1 day or less. 1 day, that's it. And you're not just getting convenience, you're getting quality. Window Nation has installed over 3 million windows, has a 96 customer satisfaction rating, and offers a lifetime warranty on their products. Plus, you can choose from over 1,500 styles and colors, so you're not stuck with something boring. Your home actually gets a glow up. And listen, this month is the time to do it. Window Nation's Buy 4 Windows, Get 4 Free sale is going on now. You can get 0 down and no payments or interest for 2 years. But hurry, sale ends soon. Don't wait to put an end to your window problems. Schedule a fast, free consultation now at windownation.com. I love all the adjectives that you're using to describe the Gulch because chill, tranquility, harmony.
I'm from Kingston, Jamaica, which is, you want to talk about chill and tranquil? Like Jamaica is as chill and tranquil as you can get. But so when I visit New York, I get overwhelmed a lot because I'm only there for a few days. Or like I had a show, I was there for a day for a show and I came back and I was like, I have no idea if anyone lives here. Right? So how I feel about the Gulch is I get to see it on the off-peak times. It is different living here. I feel like, in the evening, sometimes you have Luogo and these other all these places that are popping up that it is vibrant, but for the most part, I guess surprisingly, it's chill. It's livable.
It's chill.
Yeah.
All right. Well, where are we eating? That's my priority.
Right.
Where do you go eat?
Well, Peg Leg Porker. Like having been a Vandy student, that was a place, myself and my friends, we would all pilgrimage over there. There is this Mexican place, Federales, that opened in a section of the Gulch. That's like a vibrant place to go. It's kind of outside, inside. Once again, Whole Food.
That hot bar. Love that.
Yeah, the hot bar. Yeah, Chajuan's is also another great place. Have you been to the Indian place?
No, I haven't.
Yeah. She lives here and chef on Food Network and has been on a part of a lot of those shows. And she's been in the Gulch for quite some time. And the food is very good if you like Indian food. Adele's. You've been to Adele's, yeah?
I don't think so.
Well, you know what? Now this is an invitation. This is an invitation to come to the Gulch and we'll spend a day and we'll go around to all these places.
Let's do it. All right. Well, so we know you don't drink, but what can you tell us about the nightlife in the Gulch?
It's where it comes alive. No.
I know. It's sleeping during the day.
Sleeping during the day, alive during the night. I think a lot of the Gulch nightlife is restaurant-based, right? Very hospitality-based. But, they have Iberian Pig. This is the tapas place. Really, really cool vibe. Golden Sound is another local. They're a local bar that used to be where the Barista Parlor used to be, right behind, around the Iberian Pig area on Common James, that little section of the Gulch. And in the back, they have an omakase kind of sushi place. I have not been yet, I must say. I would love to be invited, folks.
Yeah. Let's go.
But there's a lot of bars, restaurants. Obviously, you have the hotel rooftops. But the nightlife, I feel, is very, very restaurant based. You know, the folks at Luogo who they have Luogo and I believe Pilato in Germantown, the same owners. They didn't just come and plant themselves there. They're like, hey, we're part of the community. You know, we're a restaurant, but then they have the outside patio. And, you know, people have a good time. I see a lot of families to eat around here, but clubbing wise or going out, again, night we met. The W, I believe, just redid their rooftop to sort of a Tulum inspired type vibe, which is kind of right up my alley. So, you know, I've been up there. They're very cool. And then, yeah, I think date spots, you know, the Rudy's Jazz Room. And then you have, you know, some LA influence with Craig's now being here. It's vibrant. It's not too in your face, I think. It's very like, hey, you come have dinner. Maybe you go somewhere else after. Maybe you stay.
Well, there's been some recent noise complaints about Koa. Have you heard of Koa?
Oh, yes, Koa, the rooftop. Yeah.
Can you hear it?
I cannot. I have actually played there before, so maybe I'm part of the problem. No.
We won't tell.
Yeah. Koa, it's a massive rooftop. Like when you go up, I thought it was just the one room, but you can turn a corner and then there's a whole outside portion. And like, they're also kind of in that Tulum, Greece, Mykonos inspired type thing. So, you know, the noise complaints.
Hey, you know.
Hey. I'm sure that they will find an amazing resolution where everybody's happy and we'll all join up there and I'll DJ and it'll be a vibe. That's a Jamaican in me. That's a conflict resolution in a Jamaican in me coming through.
All right, well, let's get into it. We've been kind of dancing around it, but I am so excited to dive into your music. How would you describe your music?
So my music is a combination of my like growing up experiences, right? So I grew up between Jamaica, the US, and spent a lot of time in Europe growing up. So even my name, Merchant, is inspired by the sort of historical context of, you know, back in the day, there'd be merchants, they'd be venturing to all these lands and they'd be finding different spices and foods and then bring them back and combine them into something. So for me, you know, the kind of music I make, which is melodic Afro and Caribbean inspired music, it's great energy. Right. And the subject matters a lot to do with views and sometimes, you know, gets deeper into relationship. And at the end of the day, it's feel good dance music, right? That has a strong songwriting undercurrent. So that's why being in Nashville is so great because there's so many talented writers here, so many talented session musicians, so keyboardists, pianists, guitar players and everything. So I like to infuse a lot of that in my records.
Where do you find Afro-Caribbean house inspiration in Nashville?
Well, a lot of it is from my lived experiences, right? So I think to answer that question, because I feel so at home here, it gives me the room. So like I just came back from Miami. I just played the Formula One weekend in Miami and that was amazing.
You did? That's huge.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I played some events, all three events over 3 days and it was incredible to be in that energy and stuff like that. But Nashville gives me a place where it is truly about music and truly about writing. And because I don't drink, I'll sometimes just go to Broadway and just pop into any of the honky tonks or local restaurants and listen to people perform. For it not necessarily being influenced by that specific music, just seeing people come here and performing and wanting to make it, and we're all trying to make something of ourselves with our passion and our art. That's what inspires me the most, right? So, you know, in terms of the actual sounds, I get them from all over and people I've collaborated with in different places. But for me, Nashville is just so much about music. Music is such a part of daily life for all of us here that it just keeps me so driven and motivated. And it feels like a sense of community. We're all kind of in this together, you know. And speaking of these restaurants here in the Gulch, right? Yes, they may be hospitality based and a lot of them, but a lot of the servers and people you speak to are musicians. And even Uber drivers inside of a car. So Uber drivers, so many musicians I've met and spoken to. So it just keeps you in that pocket.
Well, Nashville is viewed worldwide as like, Music City, but for
Yeah.
country music. Do you
Yes.
think Nashville could be known for more than that?
I think it already is. Like I think to people who visit, love country. Country is the heartbeat, right, of what a lot of the music scene is here. But with that brings so much talent, right? And with the internet, there's so much talent that comes into town. And maybe if someone even is a country writer, they do other writes, on the weekends. Or I've been inspired by country music too, because a lot of it has to do with love and longing and good times, which is dance music is love and good times. So there's a lot of crossover, I think, that people don't really expect and see. Again, and places like Night We Met, we have a club where some of the biggest dance acts in the world have performed at Night We Met. Like people who I just played a set back to back, which is when you're DJs, you play with that person in Miami. I played with Sparrow, who he is a DJ who he's performed all over the globe, Ibiza, Miami. And I got the chance, I actually met him last year because I opened for him when he was in a duo at Night We Met. So that relationship was already there. So playing with him this past weekend was like seeing an old friend, So even thinking about it now, I get a whole emotion. It's really cool. And I'm really grateful for the city.
And when you're meeting these musicians from around the world and you tell them you live in Nashville, what is their response?
Oh, such a range of before they come. So a lot of people, now that I'm signed to a label, I'm signed to Helix Records, which is out of New York and London and a bunch of cities. But one of my label mates was headlining at Night We Met. And so I was texting him before. Like he was asking me like what to expect, And I think a lot of people before they come in, they're just like, we don't know if people are going to like this music. Are we going to be, what's going to happen? Is anyone going to be at these shows? And every single time it's a pleasant surprise. And I'm not just saying that's for this interview or if people feel good. It's every single time. And I've always felt that way about Nashville since I came here back in 2012 for college. I didn't know what to expect either, right? I think coming from Kingston, Jamaica, knowing about country music and what the genres and stuff were about, you don't know what to expect. But the second I got here and I started walking around the campus, everyone was very friendly. And, I think overall, every time I land back in Nashville, there's some sense of like, whew, okay, it's a good vibe. People are pleasant. Southern hospitality, Caribbean hospitality, one in one. People say good morning to you when you walk on the street a lot of the times. That Southern hospitality, it's very aligned with who I am and my personality coming from Jamaica. So that I think has a lot to do with why I really do love living here.
All right. So listeners at home, I'm sure, are dying to now see you perform. Where can they hear you? Do you have a residency maybe that they could come check you out at?
That is a great question. So obviously being summertime, which is big for dance music, I am at Night We Met a lot, and the programming there is always made public. I'm trying to remember the next show, if it's in a month or so. But in terms of a residency, we're in talks with Soho House, the folks at Soho House, who are extremely supportive too. And I think going back to a place that I think if you don't know it and you just kind of hear, oh, Soho House, you're like, oh, yes, it's the members club and it feels exclusionary. But I tell you, the team there, Hunter Claire and Dee Dee and Kev, like Dee Dee is from Nashville. So she is the events manager and coordinator there. And she's done a really good job of wanting to integrate Soho with the community of Nashville. So there's a really cool experience that I'm working on, and it combines food and music in a way that celebrates just being together, right? And the good vibes and tranquility that I kind of talk about. And I think I can mention the name now. We've already established the name of what the series will be, and it's called Second Seating. And that is taken from a lot of times in the beach club culture and stuff that is in the Caribbean and in Europe and the places that I've grown up. You will have a lunch experience, a dining experience that starts in the late afternoon, and the music is there. And then at a certain point, the music starts to get louder, and then it turns into a party, right? So it's a way for people to not just feel like they have to, especially, maybe if you don't drink or you're a little, not as outgoing in the beginning, you have time to enjoy food and have a more chill atmosphere, and then it slowly builds, and by the time you turn around, you're on a table dancing.
Yes, those are my
yeah.
favorite kinds of nights too.
Yes, exactly. So I hope to see you there.
Okay, how can people follow along on your career and then get invited to these exclusive events?
Of course. Well, definitely stay up to date with me. My Instagram is at merchant.ofc. And yeah, if you look on Spotify, Apple Music, Merchant, all lowercase, you'll see my smiling face like this. And you can pick me up there. But yeah, and if anyone who's listening ever wants to chat, if you're walking around the lovely Gulch, you can see I like to talk, so we can chat.
I'm always looking for new experiences and adventures. So it feels like it really would be, if I'm looking for something chill and maybe possibly leading into dancing on a table later.
There
which
we
I'm
go.
all about.
There we go.
I'll see you in the Gulch.
I'll see you in the Gulch. And that night we met, I'm telling you.
That's right. Thank you.
Thank you, Marie.
That's all for today here on CityCast Nashville. Want to support this show and get great perks? Become a CityCast Nashville neighbor today at membership.citycast.fm. If you enjoyed the show, why not tell your friends? Rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our CityCast Nashville newsletter. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Toodles!